Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Checking in on the sector after skipping yesterday. Not a ton was going on, not much changing, and that's really still the same case. 4-hour downtrend very clearly keeping us in a pullback. And right now the bears are comfortable because the most likely scenario on this daily time frame has shifted in their favor. The reason being, the least likely scenario is a daily higher low and higher high. I think the more likely scenario is going to be an equilibrium, but another scenario is just dropping straight to a lower low. And that lower low is more favorable than a daily trend change for the bulls. Reason being just distance from resistance. We're 15% or so from a bull break, and we're only 6% from a bear break. So on the consolidation, it's been nice and clear on the 4-hour time frame. Again, just clear lower highs. We know to form a daily higher low, we need a 4-hour trend change, and we just haven't seen anything even close. There haven't even been any fake outs or anything like that. Just weak bounces, setting 4-hour lower highs, rejecting from exponential resistance, and then dropping to lower lows. I'll go over a bit how I have been trading this space the last couple days, and actually really the last week. And what it's been doing is just moving around short-term positions to lock in short-term gains and to continue to keep me very comfortable. And where we stand right now, I'm not too far off from 2019 account highs. And if this bounce can get a little bit of follow through, perhaps another 1.5% to 2%, I'll be right back at that account high. And I've done so by, again, maneuvering short term. So initially I entered a swing trade on Bitcoin looking for the daily bounce, and my average was 9,200. I scaled out some of that in the upper 9,000. I scaled out a little bit more when the 4-hour bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern started showing itself. I exited a little bit more in the 10,500 range. And since then, I've been holding that core swing without touching it. That being said, I've also done short-term trades. Last night, we take the framework of the bigger picture, which is we're looking for a daily higher low to form, and then we make trades based around that. So if I'm looking for a daily higher low to form, and last night we see the all-out dump, the 15-minute RSI getting crushed and down in the teens, the 5-minute RSI was down in the teens, and the hourly RSI was just getting oversold. That makes me comfortable to start scaling in, knowing that a short-term bounce is very likely. So knowing that I'm looking for a daily higher low and knowing that at least a short-term bounce, I'm not going to expect to nail the daily higher low, but I can position myself in a way to potentially nail it. So what I did was started scaling into Bitcoin and Litecoin. My first Bitcoin order to scale in was 9,611. And I actually made a mistake here where I put 2 scale-in orders at the same level. Normally I leave at least a % space between those scale-in orders. This was a mistake that played out in my favor. So entered that position. I sold half of it on a 1% bounce. So what that allows me to do is, let's say 96.11 is my entry, and I sell at 97.11, which is what I did on that first little bounce. My break even for that entry is now 95.11. I can set my stop loss at break even and not worry about it. If we get the daily higher low, I nailed it. If we don't, I lose $0. So we got some bounce follow through, a little bit of lower lows, didn't hit my stop level, and then we got this bull move. And I lucked out. Sometimes trading is luck, and I lucked out by coming home from an errand, and at 11:59, I exited a bit more Bitcoin. And that was literally right before this dump started. So I exited at 9,880 whatever, and then we dumped all the way back down. So with those little trades, that was locking in another little 3% move from my, actually a 4% move from my break even from the trade from yesterday. So still in a core position that has an average, or had an average at 9,200. Now that's lower because of the trading, and still very comfortable. So I will continue to trade around this setup. And of course, if we were to drop down and break 9,000, I would not want to be in bullish positions, but I'm not giving up on the bulls just yet to potentially hold 9,000 and try and break the 4-hour downtrend. Did the same thing with Litecoin. So Litecoin, we had not filled, going back to last night again, my Bitcoin order had not filled yet. So I said, all right, well, Litecoin's dumping and getting to extremes. I want to make an entry. So I made an entry in Litecoin. I had one order at 88, low 88s, another at low 87s. Same thing. I sold half of that on a 1% bounce. I put my stop below break even, and I never got stopped out. My luck timing wasn't the same here because I didn't sell up in the 97s. I did scale out some in the 93s. And then just now on this dump, I played a little flip where I got filled at 91.10 and I sold it literally seconds later at 92.10. So that was a 1% move in literally less than 30 seconds. So again, just continuing to lock in short-term gains and looking for potentially Litecoin to be giving us an early indication. Is this our higher low? We made a significant bull move on the 4-hour. We took out a ton of resistances, but we have to confirm a 4-hour trend change by holding 86.11 and breaking 97.36 to see that follow through. So we're going to have to see Bitcoin bounce as well for that to take place. Otherwise, it could be a spike that is short-lived on Litecoin. I'm holding Litecoin because we're looking for this daily trend change, LTC, BTC. So the higher low of 891, and we have to break 994, and that would certainly make me a lot more comfortable in my Litecoin position. With where we stand right now, I do have a larger Litecoin position than a Bitcoin position, not by a significant amount, but that's the first time it's been Bitcoin heavy, and that's the first time it's gone Litecoin heavy in the past couple weeks. So just again to wrap up that review, the point is using short-term levels and little flips for 1, 2, 3% based around the broader pattern of what I'm anticipating to happen. So I want to keep a position here in case we form this daily higher low and see a tightening range into the weekend. And another reminder is slow down your aggressive trading as we tighten. When we tighten, we see declining volume and declining volatility. So I'm being very picky on these trades, and only when we're in extreme RSI levels on short-term time frames am I making any trades. And again, even then, just quick little flips. But aside from that, knowing that the daily range could potentially be tightening, I want to sit back and let these plays, these smaller positions that I can hold for multiple days, let them try and play out a little bit longer rather than trying to micromanage and, short-term day trade every single day. I'm doing about the last 2 days, I've averaged 1 trade a day, just patiently waiting for those ideal scenarios. So as far as bears are concerned, another factor, 12-hour RSI, or not RSI, time frame, the 12-hour chart is getting a bit extended, which makes me believe that even if we do break 9,000, that we won't get a significant amount of follow-through unless we see a 12-hour bounce, a lower high clearly set in the low 10,000s, and then drop down. When we get this extended with a bunch of red in a row, we know that a short-term bounce to cool things off is more likely than not. So still holding out for the potential daily higher low. In the end, I may take a red trade if we were to just drop straight through and break 9,000. But if we do form a daily higher low and get any kind of a bounce back up towards 10,000, my account will be at 2019 highs. So that is how I am currently trading the space. And when this range changes, my game plan will change. So our new resistance on Bitcoin, 4-hour lower high, is 99.19 on Litecoin. Bulls have to hold support and break resistance of 97.36. We got our LTC BTC chart. Bulls trying to form a higher low on the Ethereum daily chart. Have we changed the 4-hour trend? Answer is no. Anything under 219.11 is just a lower high. We rejected from under that level, and now we're looking for a higher low compared to 250. One last point, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but why did I exit Bitcoin when I got home from errands today? The reason was the clear 4-hour downtrend and knowing that we were likely to form a lower high compared to 10,200, and also knowing we were about to touch the 4-hour exponential resistance, and the 15-minute time frame was getting a bit extended with higher lows every candle for the last 6-7 candles in a row. Sorry about that. I keep remembering points midway through other points. So bulls' only hope for Ethereum here is an inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame. We'd have to form the higher low and then break the lower high pattern. That would tell us our daily higher low has been established. We'd then zoom back out to the daily and look for a lower high to form compared to 236, depending on what the bull volume looked like. If it's big bull volume, maybe the bulls could get that daily trend change. ETH BTC, similar to LTC BTC, is trying to change this daily trend. Key support is 208 and resistance that has to break is 224. That would change the daily trend. We're on the verge of doing it, and that would be notable. And Ethereum and Litecoin bulls are sitting here saying, come on, break that trend. It's been so long since they've had any advantage over Bitcoin, and they're close to that shift taking place. XRP trying to form the daily higher low as well. Has the 4-hour trend changed? No, but we broke the lower highs. So now the bulls have to hold 302 and see continuation over 318. That would give us the daily higher low. Same with everybody else. We're looking for tightening daily ranges. Exponential resistance is also a factor here, rejecting the last 3 separate bounce attempts. BNB has the better odds out of anybody to form that higher low because the bulls had so much space to work with. So 4-hour downtrend, still intact. Anything under 30.06, just a lower high. Bulls have to hold 27.74 and break 29.51 to change the 4-hour trend to give us the daily higher low. But again, with where we stand percentage-wise, Bitcoin has to drop 6%, Binance has to drop 16%. Big difference. And Link USD, same thing as everybody else, looking for the daily higher low. Exponential resistance. Has the 4-hour trend changed? The answer is no. We're in a bit of an equilibrium. Low, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high. Key support is 227, and the bulls have to break 251 and 254 to confirm a 4-hour trend change and give us that daily higher low. So, like I said, and like the thumbnail says, bears are pretty comfortable here on Bitcoin and some of these other names. The burden of proof remains on the bulls to have to change the 4-hour trend to give us our daily higher lows. And we will see if these bulls can try and follow through sometime in the next few hours. And again, the Bitcoin bulls are back to square one with that big dump. And if the Bitcoin bulls can't break 99.19, they're proving nothing to me. And there's a lack of support, just 92.91 and 90.71. So we'll check back in tomorrow and see if that 4-hour trend has taken place. If that 4-hour trend change has not taken place, the odds of lower lows on Bitcoin will be likely. So, hope you're well. Do good things out there. Have had a lot of nature the last few days through the yard. Saw a big old bear. We were out there doing the raised beds over the weekend, and a big black bear walked through the yard, walked along the edge of the yard. He was a couple hundred feet away from us, but fortunately was not interested in us at all and kept on doing his thing. And then last night as I was recording videos, there was a mama raccoon and 3 baby raccoons right up outside this window here doing their thing. And I had a sucker window bird feeder right in front of me here, and finally some birds found it. And it's actually some baby birds. I've been watching a mom feed some babies in a bush right out here, and I assume these are those babies because they fly fairly clumsily, but they're also more trusting. They'll go to this bird feeder where all the other birds don't trust it. So we'll check back in tomorrow, do good things, and we'll see you then. So I ended up today having the doorbell ring at 10:30, and 2 TheChartGuys members told me they got me a housewarming gift and I needed to sign for a package. And I opened the door, and there was an older couple holding a baby goat. So 2 members bought me a baby goat. Unfortunately, I had to turn it away because I am not ready for a baby goat right now. I need to build fencing. I need to get the barn ready. Can't be feeding a baby goat twice a day, every day. And also, it's too young to be taken away from its mother at this point. But I thought that was a really funny gesture, and that's probably the best gift I'm ever going to get from somebody. So I got to play with a baby goat for a while today and meet the couple that lives 4 miles down the road. They live in community, and they do the gardening thing, and they have a bunch of dairy goats. So I'll probably end up getting a couple goats from them in the spring. But I thought that was a funny story and a really good gift.